Are there ways to attract millennials to golf through tourism in a non-destination area?
This is Golf Smarter.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Alan.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So you are tourism.
Correct.
You're in the hospitality industry.
Correct, yeah.
The theme of the conference here at the International Network of Golf, the ING conference, is trying to appeal to millennials.
Right.
Trying for the golf industry to figure out how to communicate with millennials. And you made some really interesting points about, in the hospitality industry of who makes the decisions and how they find out, which is
right.
non-traditional.
Right, yeah. So research has borne out that in all consumer spending, women account for 80% of all consumer spending. And so that's something to know that right off the bat, that they make a lot of those decisions and account for all of that consumer spending. But another thing to know is that 75% of all women make decisions on travel. Right. So they will, maybe a husband and a wife or a couple will come together and say, let's go on a trip. What should we do? It might be a team effort, but in the end of it, a lot of the time it's the women's making the decision. And we see that bearing out in our own industry and our own analytics on our own website, that over 50% of our traffic, we're looking probably like maybe 65% of our traffic comes from women, and that means they're looking to plan a vacation. They want to do something with their family. They want to take out, do a girls' night out thing. They want to be together. That's what we're looking and seeing, that these trends are that they're making these decisions for the family.
So with that information and a young person, guiding this organization, what kind of strategies do you have to create to also attract, I'm sure, tourism or golfers? What's your specific goal?
We try to attract all visitors to the valley, and
right.
we've made a focus on a few different avenues. Family, we want to attract family-friendly activities and vacations, family reunion type of things. We want to attract golfers because we have these 90 holes of great golf here in Utah. You probably saw the course at Wasatch yesterday. It was great.
Beautiful.
Great conditions and beautiful. And, we want to have great meeting spaces. Like this here at the Zorma is a great meeting space. So having a meeting conference market. So those are the kind of the areas that we're focusing on.
But the meeting conference thing is not a millennial.
No, that's
you don't have to worry about that.
That's more like business related stuff. So
absolutely.
But as far as what we're trying to attract, our strategy is we are going to write our content knowing that who's viewing our webpage. Maybe we're not going to say rough, tough, and tumble adventure, but maybe family friendly. Great things to do with your kids, how to get out and be unplugged from your devices for a little bit and reconnect with your family and out in nature and all these different things. Because we know that if we know who's reading our website, we need to write to who's reading it. So that's what we're changing our content strategy to be more focused on that. And so, and more Google centric, that when people search things like, what am I going to do after golf? Things to do after golf, or things to do, where can I golf? What family-friendly golf vacations? Those kind of things. We need to be writing the answers to those questions and providing that information. So that's kind of one of the strategies that we're taking. Being very active socially, having fun with our social media presence. I always like to tell people that if you're looking to be a social person, and there's a lot of different apps out there, right? You can go get drowned in the app soup, right? But what I like to say is Facebook and Instagram, start there. Those are easy. They're you can have a lot of fun with them. Instagram's just great pictures. Facebook, you can engage with your audience and great analytics and stuff like that. But the reason I say that is because more people spend more time on Facebook and Instagram than all the other social platforms combined.
Wow.
So they're spending time on those sites.
Instagram really exploded.
Right,
It came
exactly.
out of nowhere.
Right.
And, it could be gone in a year, too.
Right. And so those are some different platforms, I would say if you're looking to just get started, just start with Facebook and Instagram, and then I say have fun with it.
Yeah.
It's don't go into so much of the sciences. Just have fun with it, and you'll see some great results.
You also have the challenge of not probably not having one of the bigger budgets to deal
Right,
with, but
correct.
also is that Heber Valley is not really well known, and
Right.
you're competing against some pretty world-class destination places not far away in Park City
Right.
and in Salt Lake City
Right, and so
and Sundance.
that's exactly right. We
High
have
profile,
to we
yeah.
have to leverage our location and our proximity to some of those great places like Park City and Salt Lake City. You know, we're 15 minutes from Park City Main Street. You can be up there having a great time on Park City Main Street, and come down to Heber Valley, and we see that there's a give and take between us and Park City. We have a great relationship with those folks over there. We get a lot of people who come in from over to our visitor center and say, we're from Park City, we're staying there for a week, wanted to see what's doing in Heber Valley for the day. And vice versa. We come in, people will come stay here. What would you do here we're here for a week, what should we do? Well, we say, here, do this, that, and the other, and then take a day and go see Park City, or go see Sundance, or go Salt Lake. It's a give and take relationship. We want to make sure. But we need to do is, like you talked about, is take leverage on those great brands of Park City. You know, you could probably go to anywhere in the world and say Park City and say, oh yeah, I know where that is. And they say, Heber Valley, like, never heard of it.
Right.
You know where Park City is? Oh yeah. Well, just down the
Keep
hill.
going, yeah, right.
So we got to do our job of leveraging those brands.
And so how much of your target demographic are millennials for you? I mean, you may have the same issues that golf has.
Right. So we find that we try to play that multi-generational card. So when we talked about this on the panel the other day, that
Right.
there's
I was
travel.
hoping you'd bring this
Travel is multi-generational, right? So let's just use me as an example. So let's say I want to plan a trip to some of the Mighty Five national parks here in Utah, right? So I plan it with my wife. We have our 3 kids, and we say, this sounds like a fun thing to do, but let's invite Mom, Grandma, and Grandpa to come with us, and that becomes a bigger travel experience. And then they also do the same thing. They're on the flip side of that, they're going to be saying, oh, we want to do a trip, but we want to take our kids and grandkids with us.
Right.
So way I bring that up is because we look at our website, our traffic between millennials and the next generation of the Gen X or a little into baby boomers is about the same. So we're seeing that maybe the millennials are trying to plan vacations for their parents, and parents are trying to plan vacations with their kids and grandkids. So that's our goal, is to say it's a family reunion destination. You can come here, everybody be on the same roof and have a great time, and all these great family reunion areas. So that's what we're trying to leverage.
Right. And then do you target specific geographies to attract
We
guests?
at this time we are kind of we find that still a lot of people don't know where Heber Valley or Midway, where we are, just on the other side of the mountain in Salt Lake City. We go over there and say, have you ever been to Midway or the Zermatt out at Midway? Like, where's that? Well, it's just on the other side of those mountains. And so we are targeting, a lot of it is the Wasatch Front. People want to get away from the Salt Lake City area, get away for the weekend, and others who are within the drive market, who are willing to, I want to break from the big city life, or I want something different. So that's kind of our drive market.
So maybe I wasn't clear in my question, but when I talk about target geographically your millennials, are you looking to attract guests from like the middle states, or then are you going towards northern or southern California, where you have a lot of young people? Where are you trying to bring people from?
What we try to do is we try to leverage
The internet doesn't really matter,
right? Yeah, it's all online. No, we try to leverage our relationship with the Utah Office of Tourism. So we know that people are going to come to Utah to see those Mighty Five national parks, and we wanted to.
Not Salt Lake City.
What's that?
And Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and Salt Lake City. They want to see. See some of these cool areas, and so what we try to do is, when people are searching for, things to do around the area, we want to be a part of those searches and provide itineraries and strategies and ideas on how to travel. So our targets, we do try to get the Southern California. That's where a lot of our traffic comes from on our website, and we see a lot of things like that. And so we're probably we probably stick more to the Intermountain West, so Colorado, the Idaho, Montana, and Southern California and Nevada. That's kind of where we see a lot of our traffic coming from. And like you said, it comes back to that. We need to brand and leverage the Park City and the Salt Lake City brands that are already there.
Right. And just to make sure that everybody understands, the 5 parks are?
Zion's National Park, Arches National Park, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, and Bryce Canyon.
That was just a test. I wanted to see if you could do it.
Yeah, that was right on the spot. I was like,
Very good. Well, Dallin Kosher of Hebrew Valley Tourism at Chamber of Commerce.
correct, yep.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Glad to have you guys out in Utah.
Click on the link below to subscribe to our free weekly interviews on the Golf Smarter podcast at golfsmarter.com.